Oi Brasil! Olha eu aqui de novo e dessa vez eu estou convocando todos os amantes de filmes de terror desse país, que eu sei que são vários. Temos uma nova geração de jogos mortais. Sim, Jigsaw deixou o seu legado. Depois da morte dele, o filme se reinventou, a franquia se reinventou e volta agora com um novo vilão que segue à risca os passos, os ensinamentos de Jigsaw. Ai, que medo, só de falar já me dá um frio na espinha. Pois é. A equipe do HugoGloss.com bateu um papo com Chris Rock, que é o protagonista dessa nova versão, e com o elenco do filme, para saber um pouco dos bastidores e do que a gente pode esperar dessa nova geração. Porque vem aí Jogos Mortais Espiral. Ai, meu Deus do céu. Que medo. Eu não consigo assistir muito, não. Só assistir ali do meu lado, sabe? Ai, vai quebrando o Senhor, toda maldição. Dá uma olhada aí.
This package just came in.
Get everybody out of here. Play me.
Hello, Detective Banks. Do you know where your officers are?
Isabella, how are you?
How are you?
Pretty good. Thanks.
So first of all, congratulations on the movie. So as we all know, you have a solid career in comedy, and Inspire, your character is very dense and has to investigate those crazy murders that are going on. How was your preparation to take on such a different personality from the ones we're more used to seeing you play?
How was my preparation? I probably was a little lazy, to tell you the truth. I'd watched so many cop movies. You know, I kind of stole from, it's a little Danny Glover in Lethal Weapon. It's a little Morgan Freeman in Seven. It's even a little Mel Gibson in Lethal Weapon. And you combine that with your real life and yeah, you just play a cop,
After filming all those gory scenes, did you get kind of creeped out a bit? Shivers down your spine, maybe? Is it as scary recording a horror movie, as it is watching one?
It can get a little scary, especially, some of the traps, they don't know if they work or not. You know what I mean? Like there's little glitches in them. So sometimes I don't think they've killed anybody, but sometimes they actually hurt.
Wow.
Sometimes they actually hurt and people get hurt. So you got to watch out. Plus, sometimes you come home or go back to your hotel and you're covered in blood after working in blood all day. I don't know. I always feel sorry for like the maids or whoever has to clean up the next day. They're like, what happened here? They don't know it's fake blood.
And do you feel like you have an investigative side in you?
Comedians and detectives are very similar in the sense that you have to study human behavior. You have to study patterns. So you kind of, in some way, you're ahead of it. You know what I mean? There's a lot, between the way a detective and a comedian think.
Just to finish, how was your relationship with the guests? Were there any funny moments behind the scenes? I feel like you and Sam Jackson might be like great pranksters.
We're in pranks, but we had a good time. I had a good time with Max. Most of my time was with Max. Kind of big brother, little brother thing happening there. He's the hip, cool guy. So I was just, getting tips on how to dress and how to act and what's appropriate to say. That's what was going on.
Amazing, Chris. Just before I go, you have a lot of fans here in Brazil, especially because of Everybody Hates Chris. So if you can just send everyone a kiss here.
Thank you so much for embracing Everyone Hates Chris. Thank you, Brazil.
Jigsaw? Wait, I thought the Jigsaw killer was dead.
He is.
As we all know, you have a vast list of projects in your resume, and in Spiral, your character goes from 0 to 100 and leave us all very shocked at a certain point. What got you into this project, and how was it for you to play this guy?
Well, I was really just excited about the concept of
a Saw movie with these talent pieces involved. You know, it seemed like a really exciting combination to me. And then I was sort of in at that point before even reading the script. And then when I did read the script, I was really excited to discover this kind of detective story. You know, I love detective movies and whodunits, and they haven't made a movie like this in a long time. So I was feeling kind of nostalgic for it. And it's a great part. You know, I feel very lucky to be part of it.
And how about your relationship with Chris, who is your partner in the movie? How was the behind the scenes?
Great. He's so lovely. I mean, he's really supportive and obviously immensely talented, and has, you know, been around the block. Like, he's seen some stuff and he's worked on a lot of stuff, and I really enjoyed just getting to pick his brain and asked him a lot of questions about his experiences. It was like one of the great privileges of working on this.
Awesome. What is your opinion about this making justice with your own hands that we see in the movie?
It's interesting. It sort of reminds me a lot of like sort of superhero mythology, which sort of has a similar kind of theme. It's also very tied to the history of the Saw movies, right? Which always deal with questions of morality and justice and what is fair retribution. I think it's part of the reason these movies have been successful for so long is that they have a moral query.
And are you a fan of horror movies? Is it as scary making one as it is watching it?
No, it's definitely not as scary making them as it is watching them. They're much harder to watch. Yeah, I do. I love horror movies. I love all movies. I mean, that's the honest answer. There's not really a genre I can think of which I turn my nose up at. I think what's great about horror movies is that they create such a visceral relationship between the screen and the audience.
Whoever did this has another motive, something personal.
When was the last time you saw your father?
Jigsaw copycat. This is gonna go sideways fast.
So you play Angie, who is the head of the police department and basically the only woman in the team. She has a strong personality and makes very tough decisions. Are those some features from your own self that actually ended up fitting the character as well?
Yeah, 100%. I kind of have a strong personality. I'm not known to be too wishy-washy. First of all. Second of all, I've worked closely with law enforcement, and I'm used to kind of being the only female with a bunch of a bunch of testosterone guys. You know, trust me, I've been in rooms with nothing but Navy SEALs and former Green Berets and all the oorahs and all of that. So I know these guys, and I love these guys, and I love that they put their lives on the line to help. So I love that universe already that I am a part of. And it was really fun to bring that to life in a movie.
Awesome. And how was it for you to film those gory scenes, especially the one involving hot wax? Was it technically difficult to execute? And even though you knew it was fake, did it creep you out a bit?
No, it first of all. Plus that's real. Like, it's not like it's digitally put in there. I'm really in that position. And it's not boiling hot, but there's stuff pouring all over you. And there is something I'm lying on and all of that. So there was a lot to draw from, which made it not hard to do my job, which was phenomenal. But yeah, it's creepy. It's creepy. I'm like, thank God it's not real. I'm glad that they'll cut and I can go home to my hotel room and have a cookie or something that's kind of light and fun. And I'm like, good. Mm-hmm.
And pretty much all the scenes in the movie are very tense and dynamic. Was it difficult for you to carry this intensity throughout the whole project? And what would you do after filming to disconnect from the character?
I love intense. I love that stuff. Like, hi, great, let's do it. I love that. I live that. It's phenomenal to me. But you'll find when you're doing that and you're in that, you have to find different ways to pop out of it. So the set was kind of the opposite. and it was really fun, and we're all giggling and laughing, and Chris is telling jokes and all of this stuff, and you know, we had a great time. And you know, what I always found is then I go home and like watch Friends reruns or something light, or you know, like I said, order room service and have a cookie or a piece of cake or something that just makes me happy to balance it all out.
All available units, officer down.
That was just a diversion to get us out of the precinct. I need everyone on this case. He could be anyone. He could be anyone. We're gonna tear this city apart.
How does it feel for you to be back in the Saw franchise after 14 years? I feel like today, with the technology, it's easier to create some certain scenes and make it look more real, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy to be back because, you know, coming back in, there are so many familiar faces, so many people that I haven't seen in over a decade. Also, it feels completely brand new because how it was to shoot a Saw movie 14 years ago is completely different, changed than it is now. So there was a lot of conflicting emotions going inside. I was excited, I was nervous, I was scared. So there was a whole you know, flood of emotions coming back into this.
And what do you think is different and innovative about Spiral that is capable of captivating the old fans of the franchise, but also conquering a new audience?
I think what makes this movie so unique is it has the DNA of a Saw movie. It feels like a Saw movie. It kind of looks like a Saw movie, but it's so unique and it's its own thing. By bringing in someone like Chris Rock, he's injected an entirely new life and energy into it. He's allowed humor a place in the Saw universe, which never was there before. They were dead serious. And so I think on top of that, the franchise and this new entry has opened the world up. It's bigger. It takes place outdoors in the daylight, in the scorching sun. It's not claustrophobic like the previous films. But if you're a fan of this franchise and you've seen all 8, it's got so many things that you're gonna love, and you're going to see things that you know are very familiar to you, whether it be the traps, the twists, the turns, the Charlie Clouser music. So it's got things from the fans as well as the new people that have never seen a Saw movie, and this is their first entry point into it.
So the other films of the franchise, some of them were not very well received by the critics due to some of the more explicit scenes. This time around, were you guys more concerned about giving more depth to the characters?
Yeah, I mean, listen, here's the sad reality. You're never going to please everyone, right? You have to know your fan base. And on a movie like this, we knew our fan base. We knew who was going to see this movie, and we tried to make the best movie for them. I think this movie is much more of a thriller than past films. I think this is much more of a police procedural than past films. So hopefully, as I've grown up as a filmmaker and have gotten older, I think the movie has grown up as well. And so I'm excited for critics to see this one because I feel it is a whole new chapter in the Saw universe.
E aí, hein, gente? Acharam o quê? Vai ter coragem de assistir? Eita, você que tem um mozão, amor, já segura na mão dele e vai. Agora você que não tem, segura na mão de Deus e vai. E cuidado, vai com medo, porque vai que o Jigsaw te pega. Beijão, Brasil, até a próxima. Se você tá vendo no YouTube, não esquece de deixar seu like, curtir, comentar, compartilhar, ativar o sininho. E se você tá vendo no GTV, compartilha, dá seu like, manda para um amigo. Aproveita e convida alguém pra ver com você, assim, na hora que você ficar com medo, você faz au! Entendeu? Beijo, até a próxima.
Hello, Detective Banks. When was the last time you saw your father